Okay, we are back getting ready for the kickoff here. It is Columbine against Fountain-Fort Carson. Last year, these two teams teed it up, and Columbine won that football game against Fountain-Fort Carson 27-12. Fountain-Fort Carson had a down year for them last year. They went 4-6.
Missed the playoffs.
Missed the playoffs, which is unusual. A young team, so they bring back a lot of veteran players on this football team. I think this is going to be a really competitive game.
And Fountain-Fort Carson had to play a lot of guys last year due to injuries because they had a ton of injuries last year. So I expect Fountain-Fort Carson to use the experience from last year to their advantage. And Columbine, that's always a tough team. Andy Lowry is going to have the Rebels ready to play. They're going to line up and assault you with the option and play really good defense. Whoever makes the least amount of stakes tonight on opening night is going to win this football game. And this could play into seeding in the playoffs down the road because both of these squads expect to see them in the 5A playoffs here moving forward as we get deeper into the season.
Columbine, is my mic on? I can barely hear myself. Can you turn me up? Thank you. Columbine usually ranked in the top 10 in the state of Colorado, and they are as well this season as we kick off the year. They went 10-2 last year, lost in the third round of the playoffs to Valor last year, who ended up winning the state. And here's the kickoff as we kick off the season for Colorado high school football here on Stream It Sports. And Columbine returns it down to about the 29-yard line where they'll start 1st and 10. And as you said, Matt, both of these teams, they run the football almost every play.
Yeah, and Columbine is going to really – they're going to line up and they're going to give you a lot of formation variation in the backfield, and that is going to confuse Fountain-Fort Carson. But at the same time, FFC sees this option every day in practice, so they can easily stop it. It's just a matter of doing your job and making sure that your progression reads for the option game are well.
And a big hit there after about a 5-yard pickup.
Starting it off the right way, there's some pop.
Yeah, the quarterback, by the way, for Columbine is number 10, Jake Lowry. Jake is the nephew of the coach for Columbine, Andy Lowry. Now, Michael Tate was their starting quarterback last year and had a good year, and he is not playing football this year.
Yeah, he decided to walk away. We don't know the reasoning behind it, but usually when you quit football, it's probably time. Everybody's got to do it.
So Lowry hands it off on 2nd down, and that looks like it could be close to a Columbine first down, and it is. Then this is how this game is going to go. As you said, this game could be over in an hour.
And it's heavy run, all right? So the most important down and distance for both these defenses tonight is 1st down. If you can get Columbine or Fountain-Fort Carson behind the sticks on 1st down, so they're playing from 2nd and 12 or to even in 2nd and 8, that is a mile for a team that can't really throw the football. So we'll see if young nephew Lowry can get some things done as Fountain-Fort Carson jumps off sides.
Wow, did you see that hit there, number 11? It looked like it was kind of late, too. This guy's a beast for Fountain-Fort Carson. DJ Leatimua.
We're going to go with that.
Let's go with that.
Look, DJ played quarterback for him last year when they needed him to. He played middle linebacker and quarterback, so you know he's the toughest and the smartest kid on the football team. He's a member of the 2014 60strength.com All-Colorado team, and we did the photo shoot down at the gym earlier this month. He was a very enthusiastic kid, knows that he has an opportunity to go play D1 football. Keep your eyes on 11 all night, as he is going to be a huge key to victory in this game. I missed him right there.
Rebels pick up another 1st down there. It was a 1st and 5 after the penalty. Looks like Keith Huck, I believe, on the carry there for Columbine.
Big fullback. Now, look, Fountain-Fort Carson is out here jumping around after, and celebrating after Columbine gutted him for 10 yards up the middle. In my opinion, the less jumping around and celebrating after a 10-yard give up, the better. All right, so everybody focus on their job because right now Columbine is dictating the tempo, and they've got 4 plays and 2 first downs.
Lowry with the pitch. Trying that left side. Got a lot of room down the left side. That looks like Austin Norton with a big gain for Columbine.
Senior running back Austin Norton. He had a big-time year for them last year. Austin Norton did for the Rebels. So 302 yards last season, their leading returning rusher. So it's good to see 6 out there toting the rock. And after you soften up that middle and they have to commit more people to the box, you got them outside like Columbine and Coach Andy Lowry just did. Nice play call.
We were talking before the game. This might be the first time in about 6 years there has not been a McDonald in the background for Columbine.
And no Cameron, no Bernard. Both those young athletes are at CSU Pueblo playing for Coach John Riston, who was actually one of my coaches back in the day at the University of Colorado. So got himself a couple of really good ball players there. Andy Lowry always has guys ready to go play at the next level. So, from John LaSalla up in Boulder to Ryan Miller, who's now with the Denver Broncos, there's always really good stock coming out of the Columbine football program. And hats off to Coach Andy Lowry for being a stand-up guy and being an ambassador really for the game out here, because that guy can definitely coach some ball.
Norton with another solid pickup there on first down. They gave him about 4, almost 5 yards on that carry, so it'll be 2nd and 6.
Now, watch this too, Rick. Watch how Fountain-Fort Carson creeps to the line of scrimmage as we get through the game, and then watch Columbine hit him with a trick play. All right, they are the king of trick plays. So whether it's a reverse or a halfback pass, whatever the case may be, expect Columbine right now when they're sitting down here in this huddle as Fountain-Fort Carson tries to stop the bleeding. Watch Columbine dial up one of these trick plays, and most of the time they go for 6. I don't know a whole lot of Andy Lowry tricks that don't work.
Neither one of these teams throw the ball very often, but typically when Columbine does put the ball up in the air, they do it successfully. They don't take too many chances. Last year, Michael Tate, the quarterback we mentioned, who's not playing this year, 7 touchdowns, no interceptions.
And they didn't throw an interception all season last year, did the Rebels. Not one on the football team, although they did fumble the ball 26 times. So there is an Achilles heel. At least they know what it is. Right up the middle again with the fullback.
Yeah, 2nd down at 6.
This is old school football, Rick.
A little bit short. Yeah, this is real old school.
This is real old
school.
school.
This is like the kind of football my dad played.
This is dust ball football right here.
Like pre-face mask football.
We got some leather helmets out here tonight for Fountain-Fort Carson and Columbine. We're just going to run a fullback dive all night. Got it there? 1-2. Let's go.
9:21 clock is ticking here in the first quarter, and with both of these teams being running teams, this game will go by very quickly. It's 3rd down at 2.
Going to be the steakhouse in an hour and a half.
Ball on the 25-yard line. Lowry's going to throw the ball.
Bootleg.
And he's got pressure. He throws incomplete. Lowry with his first pass of the game.
Hit hard there by number 70, Griffin for Fountain-Fort Carson. Nice pursuit by the big defensive lineman getting down the line of scrimmage and recognizing the bootleg. Now, 4th down, all right? 3rd down and short for Columbine is what we call a waste down, all right? If you learn anything tonight, you're welcome. All right, a waste down means that they feel like they can get 3 yards on 4th down, which is exactly what they're doing here. They're trotting out the big front, and they are definitely going for it on 4th down here is Columbine, so expect them to be in 4-down territory all night.
4th and 2 from the 25.
Big play here for Fountain-Fort Carson.
Lowry under center. He's going to keep it himself, and he may be a little short. Yeah,
he's short.
He is short.
Lost his footing. Fountain-Fort Carson did a great job at the point of attack, getting off the rock. And they are short. The ball goes over to the Trojans.
Trojans take over. Good stop. This Fountain-Fort Carson team is big.
They are huge.
They are stout.
They are girthy.
They are girthy.
They are girthy.
And girthy.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm the poster boy for girth.
Pretty much taking up the entire booth here. Did you notice that? You've got me pressed over here in this corner. Here's Matt in the center of the booth.
That's what I do. Hey, man, I got to be comfortable if you want me to call the game. All right. Talent needs to be comfortable, Rick.
8:59 to go here in the first quarter.
Fountain-Fort Carson comes out with no tight end and 3 wide receivers. Here comes the motion.
Hand off to the big guy there running over that left side. Got about 2 yards on that carry.
Number 34, like Drew Harris.
6'1", 220 pounds.
That's a big tailback.
Now, both of these running backs from Fountain-Fort Carson contributed in a big way last year. They had 2 running backs that almost ran for 1,000 yards each last year. Quarterback for the Trojans, Stock Chanot from the shotgun. He's going to keep it himself.
Ooh.
Trying to pick his way through the
Smacked.
Columbine defense. Got hit pretty good. Only maybe a couple of yard pickup on that play.
Now, the man to watch for the Columbine Rebels on defense is number 22, Emory Taylor. As a junior last year, he led the 5A division in interceptions.
With 8.
Very, very good corner, multiple skill position player on offense, can do a lot for the Rebels. I think that he has a bright future ahead of him as a D1 player. And look, keep your eyes locked on 22 as he's down here at the bottom of the screen.
3rd down and 3 for the Trojans. Chanot's going to throw. It's complete. It's going to be short of the first down by about a yard.
I like the call. I like the slip screen on 3rd and 3, but now they face a 4th and 1. You would hope that you can get a yard, but if you give it back to Andy Lowry on the plus side of the 40, expect for the Rebels to get points.
They're going to punt it.
Right, here comes the big set. They're either bringing the big set in or punting the football. And keep in mind that number 11, DJ Leah is on the field. So
let's just call him DJ.
We're just going to call him DJL, all right? DJL, all right? They're in the punt formation here, Fountain-Fort Carson. We'll see what they do. Smart call to punt the ball and not give the ball back to Andy Lowry.
Pretty good snap. Gets off a decent kick. Columbine's going to let it bounce at about the 25-yard line. It'll be down right there about the 22. 1st and 10 for the Rebels. And as we predicted so far, a pretty competitive football game. Columbine picked up a couple of first downs and then got stopped on 4th down. And the Trojans unable to pick up a first down on their first possession.
Good showing this evening for the Rebels. The student section here right in front of us is full. Fountain-Fort Carson had to drive a little bit further than the Rebels did this evening, so not as many Trojan fans there on the other side of the field, but Columbine definitely came out here to support on opening night. Remember, we are Stream It Sports, and you can check us out at streamitsports.com, on Twitter at Stream It Sports. Follow Rick at @1RickLewis, and follow Matt McChesney, myself, at 60Strength. For any and all high school games moving forward. Next week on Thursday night, we are at Valor at Pomona. That will be the biggest game of the weekend next weekend, as Valor is at Bonneville this evening in Idaho, playing a very tough team from Idaho, and Pomona is not playing on 0 weeks, so expect for that to be a real barn burner next week, and some of the best talent in the state will be on that field on Thursday evening as Stream It Sports brings you Valor at Pomona.
2nd down and 9 for Columbine. They picked up 1 on that first down. They're going to keep the ball on the ground as usual for another short gain, maybe 2-yard pickup right there for the Rebels.
Keith Huck, the fullback for Columbine, is getting a lot of work, even though Fountain-Fort Carson has a ton of size inside with the 1 technique and the 3 technique as they adjust from over, under, and odd fronts. They are still assaulting the A-gaps, so those big boys in the middle, just because you're big doesn't necessarily mean you're tough. They definitely need to anchor down in there and stop this fullback zone so they can try to attack the edges and get after the quarterback, Lowry, if you're Fountain-Fort Carson.
3rd down and 4. Rebels with the ball at their own 29-yard line. Lowry under center. Lowry's going to hand it off. That's going to be short of a first down once again. You know, you mentioned earlier that these teams both play a very, very similar style of football on offense, so the defenses are used to playing this type of game. It's almost a mirror image of each other.
And one thing that high school programs struggle with is scout teams, is really evaluating the opponent. And it's one thing that we do at 60 Strength and Fitness the entire season is evaluate tape and opponents and game plan. And it's a resources thing. A lot of coaches don't have the resources to do it, as many are volunteers. And that's no one's fault. But they are going on forward on 4th and 3 here. Try and get them to jump off sides here. Expect a quick count. Fountain-Fort Carson needs to hold their water, and Columbine did jump.
Columbine jumped. Okay, yeah, they're gonna have to punt it here.
They have to. You can't go for it on that side of the 50 with 5 minutes left in the first quarter here in an even football game. You can't give Fountain-Fort Carson that kind of field position.
The Rebels actually tricked themselves there on that hard count. Look like they're tight end on the left side jump.
And that's unacceptable, man. If you are calling the false count in the huddle and you still jump,
and you know you're not going to go, you're not going to snap the ball.
Come on, man. Come on, mental cripple. Hold your water.
It is high school, right?
Although, I'm not going to.
In the NFL sometimes
they do it all the time. Yeah, it doesn't matter. The dummies jump off sides, whether you're 30 years old or 13. Doesn't matter.
Yep, you see it in the NFL.
It happens. Look, I know that you may say, well, why criticize high school kids that much? Well, In a year from now, a lot of these high school kids are D1, 1AA, and D2 college athletes, and they're going to be criticized harshly. And in a game where, you know, it's all results based, you need to be criticized in order to grow constructively. So that's all we're doing here.
Bad snap. Rebels get off a bad punt that takes a good Columbine bounce. Luckily, that ball's going to get down all the way to the 35-yard line.
Take for granted the long snappers sometimes. That was spectacle right there. If you're going to snap it like that every time we punt the football, we might just have to go for it on 4th and 2.
4:49 to go in the first quarter, and you do work with a lot of these athletes.
That I do.
At your gym, 6'0" strength, and I know that you coach them up and you train them and inspire them, and I know you don't go easy on them either.
No,
you definitely toughen them up.
Well, it's the experience that I had in college playing at the University of Colorado for Gary Barnett. It was a tough atmosphere. It was before, you know, the University of Colorado and Boulder were softified by the community and kicked all the football players out of there for the last 10 years. So it's coming back up there, but I expect football players to be tough, no BS type of guys. And if you come to 6-0 Strength and Fitness, 60strength.com, that's the environment you're going to get each and every day. So Fountain-Fort Carson here, they have an opportunity to go down and put the first points on the board. All the jitters have to be out at this point, all right? We're going on the second series for Fountain-Fort Carson, and we just got done with the third series for Columbine. So it's imperative that everybody calms down and executes, and the team that executes is going to win this football game. Right now, 0-0 with about 4:15 left in the first quarter.
2nd and 7 after a 3-yard pickup by Harris. Trojans hand it off on the right side, and he gets around a tackle. He's going to go down the sideline. A penalty flag thrown. That is Mario Jimenez, senior running back, with a nice pickup.
Penalty flag in the vicinity of holding. That's what pre-snap motion does. It allows the defense to move before the offense can get there, and if you block to where he is and not where he's going, you usually get a holding penalty for grabbing.
And that's what we have. Holding coming back negates a really nice run.
And look, if you hold in an option-based offense and you back up 10 yards, it may as well be 2nd and a mile. And that's not good for the point differential here as we move forward. I don't know what the over-under would be on this football game for these two football teams, but right now we're looking at a scoreless first quarter. Not what I expected from two high-powered offenses that can definitely gut the football on their opponent.
And you're right. You have to execute on first down. Both of these teams do, or they're in trouble because they don't throw the ball very often. That's going to really hurt Fountain-Fort Carson right there. They bring it back. Looks like 2nd down and 5 now. The Trojans with the ball. The quarterback, Stock Chenot. He's a junior quarterback. Hand off to the big guy. Harris gets stopped in the backfield, and that's a big loss.
That's a hell of a play right there by Nick Stout, the junior linebacker, number 37 for Columbine, knifing that A-gap and getting in the backfield, wrapping up the big guy down low. That's how you want to tackle a trash compactor that gets to carry the football. So the hell of a job by 37. That's a really, really nice play by Columbine to put Fountain-Fort Carson even further behind the sticks. I would play it safe here if I'm the Trojans and get in a good position to punt the football back to Columbine.
3rd down and 9. They've thrown the ball once, and Chenot looks like he's got a decent arm. We'll see what they do here out of the shotgun. He's going to play it safe. He's going to hand the ball off, and that's going to be tackled for a loss once again.
Really, really nice play by Emory Taylor. There's that man, number 22. Watch out for him. Doesn't look like he can go out there and lay the wood, but looks are deceiving for number 22. Probably the best corner in the state of Colorado in a very deep class. There's a lot of kids in Colorado in the secondary that can play, from Eric Lee and Brian Dawkins Jr. over at Valor to Jalen Moore over at Denver East, and now Emory Taylor at Columbine. Keep your eyes open for these kids.
Excellent tackle. That was a sophomore, DeMario Leonard, who got chopped down there in the backfield. It's going to be 4th down. They're going to punt. Rebels camped out about the 20-yard line. And that punt came close to being blocked. He got off a pretty good one, though. It's not going to be fielded.
Oh, Peter.
Going to be down about the 20-yard line right there. Competitive football game, Matt.
Yeah, they're flying around hitting each other. There's definitely familiarity here. Both teams know what the other team is going to do. And they're not intimidated by each other after playing as much as they do in the past. Fountain-Fort Carson always plays a tough schedule. They played Valor last season. They played Columbine. They're not afraid to go out and play the big dogs as they consider themselves one. Listen, who's going to get fatigued and not wrap up as we get later in the football game and let the ball carriers break tackles? And then who's going to make the big-time mistake or make the play that's going to win the football game?
1st and 10 from the 19. Lowry with the handoff.
It's a way to stack up the middle there if you're Fountain-Fort Carson.
1 yard pickup there for Columbine. Look like Brevin Fields maybe on the carry there, number 33. Give him a 4-yard gain. Lowry, the starting quarterback here for Columbine, is the nephew of the head coach, Andy Lowry. Michael Tate, their starting quarterback last year, who had a really good year, decided not to come back and play football this year. Lowry with the handoff again. There's a big battle going on there on the down in the trenches, and you love that kind of football.
Absolutely.
Man, oh man, some big boys on both sides of the line.
Definite trench war going on tonight between Columbine and Fountain-Fort Carson. That's downhill running. There's no cuts. There's no cutbacks. They give the ball and say hit the hole at full speed and get what you can get. And now we're looking at another first down. At least Columbine is moving the rock. Fountain-Fort Carson's offense right now is anemic.
Pitch out on that left side.
Norton again, number 6.
Picks up about 2 yards, couldn't get the corner.
Mr. Outside, Norton.
Looks like a penalty flag down.
Maybe a late hit out of bounds or a hold over there by the wideout.
It looked like maybe after the whistle blew, something happened there. I'm going to say this is probably going to be on the Trojans. Columbine seems to have the more disciplined football team. We're only in the first quarter, but it just appears as if they do, which is a trademark of Andy Lowry football teams. Yeah, personal foul on the defense.
That moves it up 15 yards. A little score update. Valor is up on Bonneville 14-0 up in Idaho right now. So the Eagles are repeating that same dominant football that you've seen the last 5 years here as they've won state titles each of the last 5 years in football. So just because they lost a lot of people does not necessarily mean that they got any worse. They reload.
1st and 10 at the 48 for Columbine. Lowry with the handoff over that left side. Number 13 is Mikey Greibel. He's a sophomore running back. That's his first carry of the night. You mentioned Valor. Last night, Chetfield played down in Miami.
They did?
And beat Everglades High School 24-14.
They only played 3 quarters due to lightning. And, you know, Kyle Winkler was 9 for 10 for 90 yards and a touchdown. The outstanding quarterback over at Chatfield. Matt Gator, the outstanding offense and defensive lineman, had a very good evening. So Chatfield is another team that we're going to need to keep an eye on throughout the season, as they have a lot of really good senior leadership, and Kyle Winkler is a damn player at the quarterback position.
2nd and 6. Lowry hands off to one of the up men. It's going to be short of a first down. It's going to be 3rd down and about 2 right now. We got 33 seconds here, and the first quarter's almost over. Clock is running.
Before we take a break here at the end of the first quarter, thank you for joining us here this evening on StreamItSports.com. I'm Matt McChesney, my partner Rick Lewis. Check us out at StreamItSports.com and at StreamItSports on Twitter. Check out Rick on Twitter at @1RickLewis. You can listen to him every morning on 103.5 The Fox as well. And check out myself at 60 Strength. And then tomorrow night we will be at Sports Authority as we bring you the Denver Broncos and the Houston Texans. We do our pregame show from 116, 117 right there in the common area. So come and stop by and listen to the best Broncos show in the state of Colorado as well.
Broncos game day. We break it down. We'll be on the air at 5 o'clock tomorrow night from Sports Authority Field.
Can already taste that hot dog I'm about to eat. You know I'm going to get a hot dog. Every time I go, I get a hot dog.
Yeah, I know. I try to talk you out of it. But
it's okay.
Okay, that's the end of the first quarter. Let's take a break here, and it's 0-0. The Columbine Rebels and the Fountain-Fort Carson Trojans at the end of one. We'll be right back on Stream It Sports. Are we sure my mic is on?
I hear you through here, so I just need to. Do you mind if I grab this real quick?
Yes.
Yeah.
It sounds like I got no mic.
All right.
Can you,
Which one is this? This is this one. Yes.
It sounds like his mic's picking me up. I hope I didn't do the whole first quarter with no mic.
No, you did. Because
Really?
I was adjusting you through the mixing board the entire time.
Good.
So out through my headphones, you guys were perfect.
On the broadcast, I could hear you guys.
Perfect. Okay.
I
Did
adjusted
fix
you
it
as
in my
high
headphones?
up as I could for you here at the moment. I've
1
got
2
as
check
much
1
as I
2
got in
1
there.
2 check 1 2 1 2. All right, that's way better. Whatever you did.
Okay.
Okay.
Good.
All right, here we go.
Whenever you're ready.
All right, we start the second quarter here. Lowry with the pitch to Norton. Norton over that right side, and he picks up a first down and more. Austin Norton with a nice carry there for the Columbine Rebels. That was Matt's headphones you just picked up.
Yep.
And just about blew my head up. Thank you.
Could have sworn we just had a break.
We did, but
Psych.
the breaks are pretty short here. It's not like the NFL, Matt.
We got a break. No, we don't.
All right, 1st and 10 now for Columbine, and they are moving the football. Still no score in the game, but Columbine at least picking up some first downs. They cross over into Trojan territory. They run it up the middle again for another short game. Boy, both of these teams, it's like they're the same team.
Yeah,
They run the same plays.
They're all about swinging the hammer, and look, the old analogy of swinging the hammer onto the stone until it breaks. You got to hit it 150 times, but eventually the consistent strike is going to break the camel's back, and that's all these teams try and do. They want to line up and use their size and strength against the opponent and hammer the other opponent to submission until they say, well, I guess I can't handle this double team the rest of the evening, and then all of a sudden the levee breaks.
And it's 2nd down and 9, and Greibel, maybe a 3-4 yard gain on the play. It's going to be 3rd and about 5.
If I'm Fountain-Fort Carson, if I'm number 11, DJL, who's one of the best linebackers in the state of Colorado, all right, if I'm the second guy in, I'm trying to strip the football. If I've looked at my scouting report, if I'm Fountain-Fort Carson, Columbine fumbled the ball 26 times last season. They lost half of those. I haven't seen them go after the ball yet. If you want to try and win this football game, especially at Jeffco in front of their home fans on opening night, you better go out there and take the football from them, and they are definitely open to putting it on the ground, averaging 2.6 a game last year from a fumble perspective.
3rd down and 5, and that is going to be short. That's Lowry with the carry. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. You know,
Expect them to go for this.
Columbine will go for it.
Yeah.
You mentioned number 11, DJ Leatamua. I was really looking forward to watching him play here tonight, and he looks like a beast on the field. Haven't seen him make any plays yet. It's about time for him to step it up.
Yeah, he's been around the piles. I don't know if he's made any consistently big hits yet, but he's a tone setter. Last year when they needed him to step in and play quarterback for this football team, he did that. Now he's focusing on one position, the Mike linebacker position, and next level football teams want to see this kid step up and make big-time plays and cover the field as the ball is dropped.
Incomplete. That was a 4th down throw there by Lowry, too, and the Trojans will take over on downs. And, boy, we're still no score here with 9:31 to go in the first half.
Definitely some rust out there as Columbine tried the bootleg again. Obviously, they have a little bit more confidence in Lowry throwing the football than they did in Tate, as Tate did not throw the ball an awful lot last season, and we've all seen Columbine throw the ball 3 times in the first 14 minutes of the football game. But look, that last play, we're talking about DJ Leametu. All right, he's a hell of a player, hell of a talent. I don't know how hard he's playing consistently out here, and that's one thing I want to see from the really good players is how hard can you play, how much pressure can you put on the opponent each and every night. So hopefully he picks it up and we can call his name out a lot more.
And a handoff goes to Harris, their big running back, Drew Harris, 6'1", 220.
It's a big man, that's for sure.
Yeah, that is a big running back. He had almost 1,000 yards rushing last season. So far has not been a factor in this game here tonight. Maybe a couple-yard pickup. They give him 4 yards. So 2nd and 6 from the 32, a Columbine player down on the field. So we'll have a little injury timeout. We can't tell who's down. The trainers are out there attending to him.
Never good to see anybody go down on the field, but it is part of football. It will test the depth of the Rebels.
These two teams played last year. Columbine won the game 27-12. They played in week number 2 last year. And the Trojans had a down year. They went 4-6, unlike them. They're usually very, very competitive football team. They look much better this year.
They do. They look like they're on the same page. And look, back in the day when you and I were playing high school football, everybody played both ways. It's not that way anymore. Not everybody plays both ways anymore. So sometimes fatigue can kick in if you have a ton of guys playing both ways. I think they just got wore down last year at the end of the season and didn't win the games they needed to in the last 3 or 4 weeks to advance. This is a brand new season, and they have big-time playmakers on that side of the ball for Fountain-Fort Carson, especially number 11 DJ Liamatu. Is that
Leia Tamua?
Leia Tamua. I apologize, DJ. Do not come hit me, okay? You just stay out there on the field. Don't get mad at me,
So
all right?
come up here in the booth.
People butcher my name all the time. I was Matt McChesney yesterday.
All right, 2nd and 6. Chanel from the shotgun, and the snap is almost fumbled. He's going to go down for a big loss right there. Half of the Columbine defense tackles him. You know, talking about number 11, DJ Leia-Tamua, when you have an athlete of that caliber, why not play him both ways?
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
But at the same time, you have to think how much of it is, you know, he played both ways last year and got a little run down, and it didn't work for us. And now he's more of a specialty player. If you see 11 come off the field and line up for Fountain-Fort Carson on offense, the bells and whistles have got to go off if you're Columbine and say, why is he on the field? So I would expect to see him at some point if they keep operating at this anemic pace. Fountain-Fort Carson, we're saying.
Chanel, the junior quarterback, shotgun.
Another reverse.
And that's
cut back.
A nice little cutback, but that's not going to go anywhere. Tackled on the play. That's Mario Jimenez. Again, they've tried that a couple times, and it has not worked.
Number 11, Keith Houck out there playing a little linebacker as well. Does a great job of staying at home, doing his job first and making the tackle on the cutback. If not for him, that might have been a first down.
So another punt. Imagine that. 0-0 game. 7:50 to go. Clock running here in the first half.
Now, it's rare to see defenses have an advantage like this early in the season. Usually you see big points and a lot of holes on defenses. They haven't been facing a lot of live reps. And right now, both defenses seem to be playing at the top of their game, and the offenses are the ones struggling as that punt is also almost blocked.
Oh, there's a good punt, though. He got that off pretty good. It's fielded at the 25-yard line, and a good return up to the 40-yard line for Columbine. Is that Mikey Greibel, I believe, on the return?
A spark plug for the Rebels.
Nice.
Watch out for 13. He's got some quick feet.
The punter outkicked his coverage that time and gave Greibel a chance to get off a nice return.
I've been told that before, that I outkicked my coverage.
In which way?
Well, my wife is hot.
I was going to say, in your marriage?
She is white hot. So
I think you pretty much outkicked your coverage in life.
Yeah. I definitely outkicked my coverage in life. There's no doubt about that.
All right, 1st and 10 now. 7:18 to go here in the first half. And Columbine with the ball in the 40. Let's see if we can get a score here in this football game.
2 receivers to the top of the field as they give in the back door for a good gain of 3 yards to Norton. That's the key to stopping number 6. If he's Mr. Outside, turn him back inside. If he wants to hit the corners and you make him stop his feet, he's not going to be able to have the explosive plays that he's used to getting.
2nd down and 7. Beautiful night for football here in Lakewood, Colorado.
Football weather, man.
It's about 62 degrees, a little wet out there. Got some rain off and on today.
Same formation for the Rebels.
Lowry's going to hand it off again. Looks like Norton again. He's going to be knocked out of bounds. Clock's going to stop. He's at least a yard short of a first down.
Number 11 tracking that down from the middle linebacker position right there, showing off some of that D1 speed.
Well, I like that. I like number 11.
He's a stud,
Leia Tamua.
He's a stud.
I don't know why they don't put him at quarterback or let him run the football. I mean, when you're that good of an athlete, why only be on the field playing defense in high school?
I do not know. I don't know, and I don't pretend to know, but I know that at the next level he's going to be linchpinned into one position, so you might as well let him do it all now.
Yep, 3rd down and 2 from the 48. Lowry with the handoff. That's going to be well short. He gets stopped in the backfield. No gain on the play.
It seems that Fountain-Fort Carson is starting to figure out Columbine, and the quick count, get to the line of scrimmage and be aggressive with how fast you're playing for the Rebels is not working the same way it would against a team that doesn't see the option every day. Remember, Fountain-Fort Carson, although they're not as condensed in the double wing, they're spread out in more 11 and 10 formation, which is one tailback and one tight end, or one tight end and no tailback, or one tailback and no tight end. If they're Fountain-Fort Carson's formations are more expanded, but it's still the same option game. A lot of reverse, a lot of misdirection. They're used to playing it and they're used to running it down, and Columbine's really struggling asserting themselves at the moment.
Rebels are going to punt on 4th and 3. Good snap. Gets off a high end overhand punt.
Peter.
Bounce the 20, about the 18-yard line. So both of these teams having a lot of trouble getting their offenses started. Now, I don't know if we can attribute that to two new quarterbacks. Last year, Leah Tamua, who we've talked about a lot, played quarterback for Fountain-Fort Carson, and Michael Tate played for Columbine. So maybe it's just going to take a while for these new young quarterbacks to get in the groove.
I'm confident that Columbine's going to be able to score some points. I've seen them move the sticks. They've got a couple first downs. They just keep shooting themselves in the foot as they get closer to the red zone. Fountain-Fort Carson hasn't done anything on offense to give me any hope that they can score on the Rebels. So they really need to pick this up, or maybe go in at halftime and re-examine what they're doing. Another negative play.
What a great play in the backfield by Columbine.
Number 37, Nick Stout, again knifing through and getting a huge hit on the tailback. If you're leaky in the A-gaps, Rick, there's nothing you can do on offense to help yourself. And now you're looking at Fountain-Fort Carson being in 2nd and 15. Again, it might as well be a mile for a team that struggles to throw the football down the field. That's a hell of a play by Columbine right off the bat.
Yeah, Nick Stout, it's only a junior, 5'11", 180-pound linebacker, having a good first half. 2nd down and 15.
Watching some damn good defensive football on Stream It Sports this evening.
0-0 the score. We're under 5 minutes now in the first half.
Motion to
Chanel
trips.
rolling to his right. He wants to throw the ball. He's got nobody open. He better get rid of it. And he is tackled down there hard at about the 3 or 4 yard line.
Number 58, Hunter Harris, doing a great job.
And
the
Cody
junior,
Woodward, too, number 7, was in there.
58 came from the other side of the field to run down the quarterback, doing a great job of pursuing. That's one thing about an Andy Lowry-led defense is you know they're going to play hard and they're never going to get out effort. So great job right there by number 58, Hunter Harris, 6'3", 230-pound defensive end, junior. Big-time future for 58. Those are good numbers for a young man. So hopefully he exploits his size and God-given ability and goes out there and keeps playing the way he is. Great sack by 58.
Yep, Columbine definitely winning the field position battle. Still no score in the game. We got about 4.5 minutes to go here.
Don't make a mistake here. Give the ball to the fullback, punt the football, play defense.
3rd and 23, and that's exactly what they're going to do. And that they barely got a yard on that. Boy, the Trojans having a hard time doing anything offensively.
A lot of guys standing around there down there with their hands on their hips, and they're looking dejected, and they're walking off the field.
Big offensive line, too. They just can't get any traction.
There's no reason why they should be getting assaulted in the A and B gaps. It just tells me, number one, they don't know their defensive fronts. They don't know how to climb off of double teams, and there's no communication. I'm not seeing any offensive linemen down there for Fountain-Fort Carson pointing out the mic or making any calls to make me think that they can handle Columbine blitzing them the way that they are. The Rebels are all over the Trojans right now, and I would not expect to see Columbine score before the half's over with 3 minutes and 40 seconds left as the clock runs.
Punting from their own end zone, gets off a decent punt. Greibel is going to field it at about the 50. He's got plenty of room.
Ooh.
Nice return again from Greibel. And great field position for Columbine with plenty of time here to get on the scoreboard before the half. 3:28 to go in the half.
The Stream It Sports Network brings you Columbine and Fountain-Fort Carson this evening. I am Matt McChesney. That is Rick Lewis. Remember to follow us at Stream It Sports on Twitter, at @1RickLewis, and at 60Strength for your boy. This is a hell of a football game right here. We got a good defensive battle. Columbine has a great opportunity to at least get 3 before they go in at halftime. 3:28 left in the half. Expect Andy Lowry to grind this clock down and try and get down in position to score going in at half to be up on Fountain-Fort Carson.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from the 38. About 3.5 minutes to go here in the half. Lowry hands it off to the up man. Pretty nice pickup there on 1st down. They get about 4 yards. This is Columbine football right here. This is exactly how they do it.
That's number 37 again, Nick Stout, who has been all over the field so far. Two-way star right now for Columbine. We're talking about guys that play both ways, and there's a middle linebacker and a fullback that does not leave the field. I would love to see number 11 for Fountain-Fort Carson, DJ
Leah Tamua.
Leah Tamua. I don't know why I can't say that, but I would love to see him doing the same thing.
Lowry's going to keep it himself. Had a little seam there that closed up very, very quickly. And it looks like our boy Leah Tamua filled that gap very quickly and brought him down.
Leah Tamua is huge
and
at
fast.
the linebacker position.
6'3", 6'3", 240.
I like the way this kid plays.
He's a heck of a football player for Fountain-Fort Carson.
He needs to make a play for him right now, though, because they are reeling. They are hanging on to this 0-0 tie with all the strength they got.
Oh, there's a fumble snap. The ball is on the ground, and I think Columbine recovered it. So now it's going to be 4th down now. The Rebels just can't seem to take advantage of this field position.
Listen, with the way Columbine's playing on defense, I go for it here. And I know that it's a little risky with 2 minutes left in the first half.
Definitely go for it.
But why not? Why not go for it? Move the pocket, allow your quarterback the opportunity to run or pass, force Fountain-Fort Carson to cover, and then if nothing happens, throw it up and see if you can draw a penalty and move the sticks.
I mean, at this point, the Trojans have done nothing on offense. You might as well go for it on every 4th down.
I would doubt they have. I would doubt they have 50 yards total offense.
Lowry rolling to his right. He wants to throw, and he is tackled.
What a great play by Fountain-Fort Carson to respond. Number 39, Jordan Smith right there, the senior linebacker, 5'9", 190, coming from the backside on a blitz. What did we say? Columbine was going to try and move the pocket. Fountain-Fort Carson knew that as well. And they come up with a huge momentum-changing play. And now the offense needs to feed off of this. Go onto the field, knowing you're going to score, take it down the field, and put it in the end zone.
Good athletic ability there by Jordan Smith.
Great job.
5'9", 190-pound linebacker runs down Jake Lowry.
Now, I don't think that Fountain-Fort Carson is playing all that great on either side of the ball, and it's still 0-0, and they seem to be taking the fight to Columbine at times. So whoever decides to play consistent in this football game is going to win. Quick pitch.
All right, the pitch out. Now that is Harris.
That's a big
Drew
man.
Harris.
Oh boy,
with a big run too, and that gives
3-4.
The Trojans something to get excited about over there.
You don't want to step in front of that dump truck right there. Grant's playing call as Columbine's been assaulting the A and B gaps. You punch it outside to your trash compactor with legs, number 34, and he was rolling. That's a nice 25-yard gain on first down.
6'1", 220-pound running back. And that guy can motor.
It's like getting hit in the face with a cinder block.
1st and 10 from the Rebel 43. Now we have a minute 15 to go here. And we'll see if the Trojans can capitalize here on some decent field position finally.
Changing the play for Fountain-Fort Carson as they're 2-2.
Chanel pitches it. Harris again tries to stiff arm his way out of a tackle. Look at how hard he is running there. He picks up about 5 yards, but 53, about 50 seconds to go here in the half. They got to get this thing moving.
And Keith Hawk, number 11, did a great job of reading that, and he was downhill in a hurry. But, again, 34, I mean, that is one strong individual running the rock, and that was a really, really tough 5 to 6 yard gain right there. As he did a great job of breaking the tackle and getting the yards he could.
Nice stiff arm there. He kind of flicked the first tackler off of him. And it took about 2 or 3 other guys to bring him down on a short gain. He only picked up 3 yards.
He did.
But it was a heck of a nice 3-yard run. Now there's 51 seconds to go here in the half. They call a timeout. And the way that they move the football at such a tedious pace, 51 seconds isn't enough. They're going to have to do something because they just can't seem to really rip off any big yardage on offense.
This is the first time they've been over on the Columbine side of the 50 the entire game. You can't waste this. You got to go out and say, look, we can't assume that we're going to get this opportunity. We've had 4 possessions. This is the only one we've gotten across the 50. We got 50 seconds left to exploit this. 3 points right now is a very, very tall hill to climb if you're the Rebels. So, listen, Fountain-Fort Carson needs to get something out of this, so it's imperative that they execute with 50 seconds left.
We'll see. Maybe this kid can throw the ball.
Maybe he
can.
Chanel. Let him try.
Junior quarterback from the shotgun. Looks like he's going to. Steps back, throws. Harris with the catch at the 40, cuts it back midfield down to the 30. Look
Still
at him on the
moving.
ball. Another first down
God.
for Fountain-Fort Carson. Man,
And now it's known. Nobody from Columbine is trying to step in front of 34. Not one guy.
he's a brute.
Man.
Stepping in front of a bus.
Yeah, I do not sign myself up for this job. 34 is out there trying to cripple somebody tonight. That's a hell of a run again.
All right, 36 seconds, 35 clock running now. 1st and 10 from the 28. They're going to have to throw the football.
They got to lean on Drew Harris a little bit more. This kid can play some ball.
Chanot rolling, throwing downfield, and he overthrows his man down there at the goal line. He was looking for Anthony Schmidt.
And that's the first time from both football teams we've seen them air it out and throw it down the field. So at least they're trying to go down and get some points. I'd say they need another 15 yards to have a chip shot field goal opportunity. 24 seconds left here on Stream It Sports, the opening game of the week here with Matt McChesney and Rick Lewis, live from Jeffco in HD, at Stream It Sports on Twitter, at @1RickLewis for Rick, and at 60 Strength for your boy here. Next week we are at Pomona as Valor comes to town, and the number 1 ranked Eagles and the top 5 ranked Pomona Panthers on Thursday night in live HD right here on Stream It Sports.
2nd down and 10, Chanot from the shotgun. He's going to have to throw the ball again.
Trips to the top of the screen.
Rolls
they got
to
it.
his left.
They
And
throw the ball.
Oh, he's tackled down. He's put down quickly there by Keith Huck. And clock stopped.
Number 11 is down. He might have knocked the wind out of himself. He is not shy about throwing his body around. And when you play like that, the ground is unforgiving. That's a hell of a play by 11, but our thoughts are with him as he is down on the play.
All right, it's going to be 3rd down now, 17 seconds to go. And, you know, this number 9, Anthony Schmidt, 6'4", 175-pound wide receiver. Watch for him. I watched him in the pregame warm-up. He looks very athletic. He's obviously big. He's a big body. And maybe Chanot can just throw one up for grabs in the end zone and let him out-jump somebody. I think that's their best chance.
It seems to me that Fountain-Fort Carson has a size advantage.
They
Would
do
you
seem
agree?
bigger. Yeah, they do seem like they have a
bigger
big
on
team.
the offensive and defensive lines, but Columbine is matching their physicality and the size that they possess with just effort. Columbine is playing so hard right now. And look, in a 0-0 football game, in a contest where both these teams know each other very well, and there's a lot of guys that have played against each other for years here, it's going to come down to effort and which team makes a mistake. And we've seen Columbine put the ball on the ground in the last drive, their first fumble of the game after having 26 fumbles last year with no interceptions. And we've seen Fountain-Fort Carson not really take advantage of every opportunity they've had until this drive. They've had a lot of penalties. They've had a lot of mishaps on offense with protection and Columbine running through A and B gaps and assaulting their ball carriers in the backfield. They found something, though, on this drive in number 34. All right. Drew Harris is a stud. 6'1", 220. Other than, I don't know about the other power backs, quote unquote, in the state of Colorado, but right now, number 34 for Fountain-Fort Carson has my nod as the best power back in the state of Colorado.
He's a beast. Huck is on his feet. Looks like a leg injury.
That's
dragging
terrible.
that left leg does not look good. He's a good player, too, for Columbine.
That's a big loss right there for the Rebels and Coach Andy Lowry.
Linebacker and running back. That is a big loss for Columbine.
One man's pain is another man's opportunity, though. So Columbine prides themselves on depth. So I expect the man that steps in and fills in for number 11. He has big shoes to fill as Huck is a hell of a player and a really, really strong point for that Columbine Rebels football team.
We thank you for joining us here on Stream It Sports. It's 3rd and 12 from the 31. Watch for number 9 here, Anthony Schmidt. See if maybe Chanot can get him the ball. Just kind of throw one up for grabs. They have 2 chances. They'll have two throws they can take down in the end zone here. We'll see what they got.
Trips to the bottom of the screen. They've isolated wide receiver to the top of the screen, so look for that one-on-one matchup as Columbine has to commit 4 guys to the trip side. And there it is.
Under pressure, and there's that throw I talked about. He just tossed it up for grabs. Just a bad throw, though.
When you have a guy like Emory Taylor, number 22 for Columbine, you feel confident rotating the other 10 guys away from the wide receiver to the boundary and throwing it up. So, again, The no-fly zone for the Columbine Rebels is led by number 22, Emory Taylor. That's a hell of a play, and now Columbine is looking at an opportunity to not give up any points here, as Fountain-Fort Carson has gone to the end zone twice rather than trying to get the yardage needed in chunks as they look at 4th and about 14.
They're going to go for a field goal attempt.
It's a big one.
Yeah, from the 31, so it'll be 41, about a 40, 44, 45-yard field goal attempt. And a timeout, Columbine. Yeah, it does not appear like the Trojans have much of a passing game, so they're really going to have to rely on number 34, Drew Harris, there in the second half.
Are they icing the kicker right now?
If that's what you want to call it. You think that's what they're doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're talking about
looks like a pretty
fake options, honestly.
Pretty long field goal for high school.
Yeah, he's going to have to drill this bad boy.
Yeah, ball's on the 31.
Who is that? Matt Prater out there?
Yeah, really.
Al Del Greco out there about to tee it up?
Is he really going to try a field goal from there?
I don't know. What is that?
It's almost a 50-yard field goal.
Almost. I mean, they might have a secret weapon over there, and honestly, at the rate this game's going, 3-0 might win it.
Absolutely. We said this is going to be competitive in the pregame. I didn't think it'd be this close. 0-0, about as close as you can get. Trojans trying to amend their loss last year to Columbine. They got beat 27-12 last year in week number 2. And now they're going to go for it on 4th and 12. That makes a lot more sense. Let's see if Chanot can just throw one up for grabs in the end zone, if he can get it down there. He's got plenty of time now, rolling to his right, looking, and throws it up and caught.
Wow.
Caught at the 3.
With no time left.
No time left. Now, if you could have got that in the end zone, that's what I've been saying. The last 3 plays, they have some really big wide receivers on Fountain-Fort Carson.
Well, look, Fountain-Fort Carson did some good things there as the half ended. They moved the ball down the field. They just got no points out of it, and we end the half on Stream It Sports Game of the Week, 0-0. Columbine and Fountain-Fort Carson teeing it off here on 0 week.
All right, so we'll be back with the second half. Rick Lewis here and Matt McChesney in a 0-0 game here on Stream It Sports. Okay, welcome back to Jeffco Stadium. Rick Lewis here with Matt McChesney. And we're getting ready for the second half kickoff, a 0-0 football game. So either two really good defenses or two really bad offenses. What would you say?
I think a lot of it is just opening week jitters, honestly. I think there's a lot of kids out here excited to play their first football game of the season under the lights in front of all the fans. At the same time, though, it boils down to execution, and neither one of these teams really executed on offense very well. But Fountain-Fort Carson had a lot going at the end of the first half, so hopefully getting the ball back now to start the second, they can use some of that momentum and try and put some points on the board. Honestly, one score might win it for you tonight. But if I know Andy Lowry, Columbine football, they are just waiting for the levee to break. So they're going to keep hammering the stone, and we'll see who can come out here on top.
They're going to get good field position to start because Columbine kicked the second half kickoff out of bounds. So the Trojans, who really came the closest to either one of these teams to scoring in the first half, and that was right at the end of the first half, will get the football 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line.
And they've been playing clean. You know, last year they had 11 interceptions and 16 lost fumbles, and this year they don't have any turnovers to start the game, and they go right back to their hammer right off the bat.
Drew Harris looks a little fired up, too, doesn't he, to start the second half?
And he should be. They've gone to the well now 3 times with that outside pitch to the trip side, so Columbine's keyed on that. They know what's coming now. You might want to change it up a little bit.
4-yard pickup on that play.
I'll take 4 yards on first down every day, though.
Absolutely. That's exactly what they need with this type of offense.
Just pound the rock. This is Stream It Sports, the Friday night game of the week. I'm Matt McChesney. Rick Lewis is my partner as we go through the season here on StreamItSports.com. We have Pomona Valor next Thursday night at the home of the Panthers, so make sure you tune in for that.
2nd and 6 from the 39, and a handoff to Harris again. He wants to get around that left side. He does, showing good speed. Look at that run for the big dude.
When you've got a guy who's 6'1", 220, all right, built like a young Jerome Bettis, and he can run away from people as well as run you over, things are good. if you're playing for Fountain-Fort Carson. You saw number 37 there for Columbine knife through again, try and get in the backfield. That's Nick Stout. He's had a hell of a game, but he missed that play in the backfield there, as now Fountain-Fort Carson is starting to assault the edges rather than try and drum the middle.
Chanot back in at quarterback. Looked like they started the second half with Darius Stewart at quarterback. Looks like a more athletic quarterback than Chanot. Pitch over to Harris, and he's going to get piled on out of bounds there on 3rd down at 2. He's going to lose yardage.
Again, they try to go back to the well and pitch to the trip side, and it does not end up in their favor. They've ran that play four or five times in the last 10 plays. And that, look, against Andy Lowry's defense, they're not dummies over there, and they play hard. So they're going to be able to figure that out here pretty quick as Fountain-Fort Carson brings on the punt team.
4th down at 4.
Missed opportunity. Mr. Excitement, your boy, number 13, is back there to take the punt.
Greibel. Mikey Greibel.
Mikey G.
Made some plays already here today in the first half of this football game. A high punt. It's going to be a short punt.
Peter.
It's going to take a bad bounce for the Trojans, and great field position for Columbine to start the second half. We'll see if they can do something here. See if they made any adjustments at halftime to get some offense going. This is this is unlike a Columbine football team. I mean, this is their typical offense where they grind it out and run the football, but the only difference is in this one is it's not effective.
Yeah, they're not scoring any points. They're not getting in a situation on 3rd down where they can convert consistently. Honestly, Lowry, the nephew of the head coach, Andy Lowry, seems to me that he has a good enough arm to throw the football. It's whether or not you're going to let him. Are you going to take the handcuffs out of the quarterback and let him run the ball and let him pass the ball down the field as they give to the fullback right off the bat and get a yard? And now we're looking at 2nd and 8, 2nd and 9, which is not a good place to be if you're the Rebel offense.
Almost this entire game is being battled in the trenches with 2 big lines on both sides of the football.
It's like a 1970s Nebraska-Oklahoma game.
Lowry, the quarterback, handoff. Greibel has some room on the left side, and he's going to pick up a 1st down and more. That's a nice run there by Mikey Greibel. He's only a sophomore.
I like 13. He's got some fast feet. He is not afraid to turn it up, and he is Mr. Do-It-All for Columbine. Punt returner. He plays the slot. He plays in the backfield. I've seen him out there covering kicks. Mikey Greibel is a hell of a football player in the future of the Columbine Rebels.
That was a well-executed run there by Columbine. That's what they do right there. 1st and 10 from the 41 of Fountain-Fort Carson.
On runs like that is where you want to see Fountain-Fort Carson and their linebackers show off their speed, get downhill in a hurry.
Same play, Greibel with another big pickup on 1st down. They go right back to it.
Now, I got to give some credit where credit's due, all right? Dylan Goodman, number 60, wearing a badass number 1, all right, is up there just giving number 11, your boy, DJ
Leatimua.
Okay.
All right.
DJ Leatimua.
Keep putting me on the spot
D1
with that
linebacker.
name.
All
Yeah.
right. And number 60 for Columbine, Dylan Goodman, has been all over him all game.
Nice.
He just did a great job of seal blocking him right there and letting the running back get to the second level and get into a 2nd and 4 situation. And you can tell that he's making number 11 pretty angry as, again, they're up and trying to get to 11 quick. 11 is running around a lot of blocks, man. He's not being very physical at the point of attack. So hopefully Columbine can keep beating them up because they are definitely affecting Fountain-Fort Carson right now as they are assaulting them with this second half possession.
Big fullback there, Brevin Fields, Jr., 6'2", 215. Looks like he gets a 1st down pickup for Columbine. So now Columbine moving the ball. This looks more like the Columbine Rebels we're used to. 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line.
I like that Goodman kid for Columbine. He's a good-looking offensive lineman.
Pitch back to Greibel. Greibel runs out of 2 tackles, still on his feet. That's a pretty good little 4-yard run I think he made there. Ran out of 2 arm tackles for the pickup. It's about 2nd down and 6, maybe 7. Depends where they spot it. 2nd down at 7, they call it. So a 3-yard pickup for Greibel.
And that clock just keeps ticking away.
It never stops. 8:34 and counting here in the 3rd quarter.
It's the ultimate running clock in high school football in Colorado. Fountain-Fort Carson and Columbine.
And Greibel again on that counter play. They found something that works here now with Greibel on that counter going over the left side. He's going to be short of the first down, I believe.
And look, that's how you
Yes.
counter a huge physical Mike linebacker like Fountain-Fort Carson has in number 11 by running sideline to sideline and using the speed and making him chase rather than forming up fullbacks and hitting inside the tackles. So they're doing a great job of forcing him to play out of his comfort zone. And in turn, that has him guessing rather than reacting, and that's why he's a step behind guys and not laying people out the way he usually does.
3rd and 1, hand off to that big fullback Fields, and he will pick up the first down. Brevin Fields, Jr., 6'2", 215. Leia Tamua on the tackle.
I like Leia Tamua. He's a good-looking player, but I'm waiting for him to take over because in order to be an elite defensive player in the state of Colorado, you have to be a guy that takes over games. So he's a quality player, no doubt, a member of the 2014 60strength.com All-Colorado team, but I want to see him take over now.
Norton with a cutback, big carry, big pickup for Columbine inside the 5-yard line.
Knifing that Fountain-Fort Carson defense right up the gut. Downhill running by number 6, who's usually Mr. Outside. And now Columbine's set up to get the first points of the game, and this is what you expect to see from Andy Lowry's offense anyway.
Yep. It's 1st and goal from the 4. Now, this looks like the Columbine that we know here on this drive.
Don't be surprised if they keep the ball in the hands of their fullback, number 37, or their quarterback, Lowry.
The handoff is the fullback. That's going to be a touchdown for Brevin Fields, touchdown for Columbine. They get on the board first from the 4-yard line.
Great job by the fullback, number 33, Brevin Fields right there. Good-looking offensive possession there by Columbine as they ate up a ton of clock, controlled the time of possession, and then went down and stuffed it in the end zone, and they're looking like they're going to have a 7-0 lead on Fountain-Fort Carson. And the penalty for the face mask on FFC is going to put them in a very precarious situation as Columbine kicks it off.
Fields stepping it up. Nick Stout, the normal fullback, got injured in the first half. He has not come back. And Brevin Fields, the junior, with a couple of nice runs there on that drive, including the touchdown from the 4-yard line.
Nate Stout, since the first half, has been playing a little bit more defense as well. We expect to see 37 out there in the second half, playing linebacker for Columbine. Columbine did lose number 11, Keith Hauk, in the first half, the senior linebacker fullback, who is also a very integral part of their success.
Extra point, good.
They go up 7-0 here on the Stream of Sports Game of the Week. Columbine's up 7-0 on Fountain-Fort Carson.
Easton Hartman with that extra point attempt for Columbine. So the Rebels strike first after a scoreless first half. Columbine takes the ball right down the field here in the second half to get a touchdown.
It's not going for his bandwidth, just isn't pushing it.
So we're not on. So we're telling
We're recording. We're on, I think, at some time.
All right, 7:08 to go here in the third quarter. Columbine will kick it off with a 7-0 lead, and the way this game has gone up to this point, that could seal it because the Trojans have shown very little offense in this football game.
Other than 34, Drew Harris for Fountain-Fort Carson, who has been a bright light of hope. On offense, they are not utilizing their size up front. They're not leaning on people the way that they should, being as big and physical as they look on paper. I mean, Lawrence Grady, number 65, is 6'3", 330, so him alone should be able to move some people down there. So Drew Harris is having a good night, but other than that, Fountain-Fort Carson is really struggling with Columbine's scheme, and they're struggling with the linebackers hitting the A-gaps, and they're behind the sticks a lot on second down, and it's not boding well for them.
Kickoff into the end zone.
Touchback.
Big foot there. Easton Hartman. He's only a sophomore. So it looked like starting the second half, Fountain-Fort Carson had a different quarterback in there, Darius Stewart, who's a junior. Looks like more of an athletic quarterback than Chanot. Just a couple plays he was in there. We'll see if they continue with that here on this series. It looks like Chanot is probably back in the game. They need to do something. They need to start generating something on offense here. Columbine could start to roll now that they got on the board. Chanot is at quarterback. He's going to keep it. Very short gain.
Big hit right there by number 59, Trenton Krooster, 6'2", 280-pound senior for Columbine, laying the wood right there from the three-technique position. I like Columbine's defensive and offensive fronts. They look like they did a really good job of building them up throughout the offseason. They are very physical at the point of attack, and if you're going to tell me that Columbine's going to be this kind of bend and no break, no bend defense throughout the whole season, the Rebels are going to be real hard to deal with in 5A.
2nd and 8. Chanot wants to throw. He does. It's incomplete.
Note to Fountain-Fort Carson's coaching staff, stay away from 22. All right? Trying to run gimmick screen passes into the boundary against the best corner prospectively in the state of Colorado and Emory Taylor is a battle you're not going to win. Stay away from 22. Exploit the rest of the field and let him walk down that side because you're not getting anything on Emory Taylor. It's not happening. The only thing you're going to get is pick 6.
3rd and 8 now from their own 22-yard line. Chanot drops back, throws, dumps it off to Harris. Harris with some room. Harris up the middle.
Oh, boy.
He's picked up some steam there right up the middle of the field, down to about the 44, 45-yard line. That's a very good play right there.
I'd hate to say ride the one-trick pony, but why would you give the ball to anybody but 34 at this point?
I'd keep running that play.
Just keep handing him the rock, keep passing him the ball, keep putting him in positions to be successful, and get out of the damn way and let 34 do his thing.
He looks to be about the only effective offensive player they have, and he's really good. 1st and 10 from the 45. Yeah, just keep putting the ball in his hands somehow. Hand off, throw it, whatever you got to do. Chanot's going to throw again. It's complete for a 1st down, and they threw it right at your boy Emory Taylor right there.
They're looking like they've got a little bit of variety in their game plan here. They're not just running option football. If Columbine is going to play off and give you the underneath stuff, you got to take it. And Fountain-Fort Carson did there. That's something to build on. If they can do it once, they can do it again. So,
that was a good throw there by Chanot too. Let's give him some credit there. Put a little zip on that football.
Rust is getting worked off here for Fountain-Fort Carson as they're moving the rock.
They cross over into Columbine territory now. They're at the 45-yard line. They pitch it out to Harris. Right side has a little room to the 40-yard line. 35-30. Down the sideline he goes and knocked out of bounds at about the 15.
Drew Harris is a great-looking fullback, tailback for Fountain-Fort Carson. As he gets up a little slow, the big man is doing a lot of work out there. I love the fact that there's no gloves, no tape, no nothing. No gloves, no tape, no nonsense. 34's here to run your ass over. Take it or leave it.
Nice pickup by Harris right there. Wow, that was a nice run.
Little score update here for you. 54-7, Valor up on Bonneville in Idaho at the half. So
really?
Everybody that thought the Valor Eagles were going to lose something with that big offensive line gone and Christian McCaffrey off to Stanford and Ryan Cummings and Alex Ruth and Isaiah Holland and everybody leaving the building, they are just as fierce and equally as dangerous, and they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in the 5A division as they are at 54-7 on Bonneville in the second half.
Is Bonneville supposed to be good?
Bonneville's a pretty decent team in Idaho. I mean, I don't know if they expected to get the brick speed off of them like they are now. Next week, Valor is at Pomona. We will have that game for you here on Stream It Sports Thursday night. The home of the Panthers up there in Arvada. That's going to be one really, really physical football game as Dylan Middlemiss, Bravery Ratcliffe, and Jake Moretti, 3 excellent offensive linemen for Pomona, are teamed up against or matched up against probably the best defensive line in the state in Brandon Biggs, Turner Hennington, and Jordan Bostic up there for the Valor Eagles. Watch out for that game next week, Thursday night, Stream It Sports. Rick Lewis and I will be there on the call.
We got some good action here in the second half now with FCC moving the football. 1st and 10 from the 15-yard line. It's been all Drew Harris. And they pitch it back to another tailback who shows some good speed. Cuts it back up the field. Touchdown.
6.
Touchdown, Trojans.
Now,
I didn't catch a number there. Was that Jason Orr, number 6?
No, it's number 4, Charles Trigger.
Number 4, Charles Tigner.
not
Where's he
Trigger.
been?
Hey, he's the punter. He's been punting the football.
Tigner had a really good year last year running the football.
Look, they've got speed and they've got size from Fountain-Fort Carson's football team, and now they've calmed down and they're executing, and now we're seeing the football game we all expected.
Man, he looked good, man.
About to tie this up 7-7, as we don't want to jinx the field goal kicker, but again, they're kickers, so just do your job and get off the field.
Yeah, that's a true lineman, true warrior. Matt McChesney, my partner here.
Do your job, get off the field.
Imagine that, he doesn't like kickers.
It's not that I don't like them.
Yeah, you don't like them.
They should all wear pink.
Bad snap.
Kickers and quarterbacks.
Kick is no good. You jinxed them. Way to go. Okay.
Way to go. Way to go, Matt.
Nice jinx, Matt.
Way to go, Matt.
All right. Well, we got a 7-6 football game now after Matt jinxed the kicker.
Real jerk move.
Yeah.
Way to go, Matt.
Yep. You'll be hearing from his mom.
I doubt that.
All right, 7-6, and that was a nice drive by the Trojans. Let's give them some credit there. Drew Harris doing most of the work. Charles Tigner with the touchdown for them. A really nice looking drive by the Trojans. So now we can see what both of these offenses are capable of doing.
And look, the way that the pace of this game is going, all right, I would expect each team with 5 minutes left in the third to have 2 or 3 more possessions each. So what are you going to do with those 2 or 3 possessions? You've got to really execute. You've got to go out and play as hard as you can, because any mistake here, all it takes is a little seam, and you've seen Tigner and Harris, and you've seen number 13 for Columbine get loose, and they've shown the ability to run the football, both teams. All it takes is a seam, and somebody's gone. So really, the defenses have got to play airtight here in the second half and go out here and really execute in order to win this ball game and start the season 1-0 the way you want to on 0 week.
Last year, Tigner, 9 touchdowns, averaged almost 7 yards per carry for Fountain-Fort Carson, and that's the first we've seen of him tonight.
I mean, he must be a really good punter if they're saving him like that.
Kickoff is short. It's going to be returned by Columbine up to the 15, the 20-yard line, trying to get around that corner, and he gets knocked out of bounds about the 24-yard line. That was, looks like Keith Huck back in the game. Who was that? Was that 11 or 41?
41.
41, I'm sorry.
Getting a little chippy out
41
there.
41 is Austin Roybal.
A little chippiness out there on the kickoff cover. Guys laying each other out, a little blindside hit.
We got ourselves a game here, 7-6. After Matt jinxed the kicker for Fountain-Fort Carson, they're down by 1 in this football game.
I had nothing to do with that. Don't blame it on me.
I think he
bad execution.
At the stats here, he said every extra point in his career except for that one when he got jinxed by you. All right, so 7-6, first and 10 from the 24.
All right.
Look at that move.
It is my fault.
Yeah, well,
sorry.
I think you should be blamed for that. It's pretty obvious to me.
I'm blamed for everything eventually, so it's okay.
All right, Brevin Fields pretty much carried half of the Trojan defense on his back for about a 5 or 6 yard pickup. Nice gain on first down, and that's exactly what Columbine needs. They give him an 8 yard gain. Second down and 2. They marked the ball at the 32-yard line. Jake Lowry, the quarterback, he's going to hand it off, and that's Mikey Greibel who picks up the first down for Columbine.
And if Columbine and Andy Lowry had their way, they would go on a 20-minute drive right here. And they wouldn't even give the ball back to Fountain-Fort Carson. They would eat clock, control the top. When you hear us talk about top, that's time of possession, folks. So I know it's not a stat that's broken down here a lot in the state of Colorado when it comes to high school football, but it is very, very important when you look at run-first football teams to think about how much time of possession they actually control. If you don't give the ball back to the other team, they can't score.
First and 10 from the 37. Lowry, handoff to Greibel. They love that counter play.
They love it.
And looks like finally gets stopped for no gain on that play.
I like Fountain-Fort Carson's defense. They've been playing hard the entire evening. You know, come on, Griffin, number 70. The senior defensive lineman's been all over the field. Number 43, Elijah Trujillo, a linebacker, junior, has been all over the field. They've been playing hard. It's just a matter of trying to get that break.
Second and 10 now from the 37, Lowry under center. Pitches it back to Norton. Norton around that right side showing good speed. It picks up a first down for Columbine. Norton's got some wheels. Kid can run. That play didn't look like it was going to develop like it did to me.
Mr. Outside.
Anyway. Yeah.
Mr. Outside. Norton, number 6. Dangerous weapon for Andy Lowry's offense.
By the way, the announcer here, the PA announcer
Yes.
here at Jeffco, remembered you from Niwot High School.
No.
I swear.
Yeah?
Yeah, I was up there.
Hey, man.
This he's been the PA announcer for a long time. Did you ever play here?
No.
He knew
But
who you were.
I'm easy to remember. I used to beat people up a lot.
Off the field? Brevin Fields
Sometimes.
with a 2-yard pickup.
Sometimes. I'm not going to say it hasn't happened. You got to defend ugly, man. And when you're when you're born ugly, it's hard. Life's a fight.
Fields gets up a little slow there. Now he's filling in for Nick Stout.
This guy knows what I'm talking
At
about.
fullback. 2nd and 8. So 2-yard gain there by Fields, the big fullback.
DJ Lemetu, let's see how he can turn the tide of this football game. It's been a while since we've called number 11.
Norton with the cutback. Norton, nice run, close to a Columbine first down. How many ways are you going to say his name?
I don't know. I'm butchering it. I understand.
Just call him number 11.
I can't just call him number 11.
Leia Tamua.
Leia Tamua. See, and he was at the All Colorado event, and I couldn't pronounce his name then, and I can't pronounce his name now, okay? So
He made the 6-0 strength All Colorado team. He might want to get his name right.
oh, see, and now you're making me look like the bad guy. You can't pronounce his name either.
Leia Tamua. DJ Leia Tamua,
You
number
think.
11. That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's how. Watch me. I'm probably mispronouncing it the entire game.
How's our player of the game looking?
You know what? I went up and I talked to the PA announcer and asked about this kid's name, and he didn't know how to pronounce it either.
Number 11?
Yeah, so we just kind of both went with that
Well,
pronunciation.
here you go, DJ. Here's some motivation. Make people remember your name. If you make everyone pronounce your name repeatedly over and over and over again, you're doing something right.
Big penalty there on Columbine. Really knocks them back a 15-yarder. 2nd and 17 now. Now, that really hurt them on this drive here. We'll see if they can make it up. These next 2 plays, Lowry back into the huddle for Columbine.
I wonder if they're going to take the chains off Lowry and let him throw the ball down the field ever, because they come out in the same formation over and over and over again. It's just a matter of time before.
Oh, the ball's on the ground and recovered by
number 2.
Columbine. Yeah. There's been no turnovers in this game so far. It's been a pretty clean football game. Very few penalties.
And Fountain-Fort Carson turned the ball over a lot last year, and that's one of the reasons that they were 4-6 instead of a 7-3 football team. And Columbine, no interceptions, but they put the ball on the ground 26 times last season, losing 13 of them. They put the ball on the ground twice this evening, and both have been quarterback center exchanges. Okay, so if your quarterback center exchange is rusty like this, that's going to be something that definitely turns Andy Lowry's stomach a little bit, as he is not going to want to focus on the quarterback center exchange during practice.
3rd and 20. Lowry
Bootleg.
under pressure, gets the ball off, and looks like it's incomplete.
Almost intercepted there by number 7, Dwayne McClurnick.
Trying to hit Greibel. You know, we mentioned that this is the first season in about 6 there's no McDonald on the Columbine team, and you know what? It makes a big difference.
It does.
It really does. You put a kid like that in the backfield here, and nothing against these guys they have, because there's some good players out there. But McDonald's, all those guys made a big difference to this team.
Cameron was a hammer, and
big difference.
He could get tough yards, and he's built like a fullback, runs like a tailback, and Bernard's got sprinter speed. And Bernard was a great changeup. He could go out there and just blow people away. If he broke the second level, he was gone. And it's not that the Columbine running backs can't do that. It's just that they don't have that same second step pop. They're not full speed by step 3 like the McDonald brothers always were.
Absolutely. And another short punt. It's going to be fielded there at the 25-yard line by the Trojans. And he's going to take it up to about the 40-yard line. Nice return, and a risky return there. And not to belabor the point, but, you know, the way Columbine looks, and I've seen him play a lot, this is how they look. You know, and then all of a sudden McDonald would break off a 60-yard run for a touchdown. And
they just don't have that
I do think they do miss that type of player, but there's not a lot of those guys around either.
That was a really risky return by number 8, Jamarcus Mathis, right there for Fountain-Fort Carson, but it did work out, and it gave him an extra 15 yards of field position. So now, looking at 1:18 left in the third quarter, knowing you're Fountain-Fort Carson and you're going to get maybe 2 more possessions after this, you've really got to exploit every inch of the field you can get as they go 3 deep in the backfield.
They pitch it back. Looks like Tigner, who scored the touchdown on his last carry, he's going to get thrown for about a 1-yard loss there. Tigner with some great speed. Had nowhere to run on that play.
Well, they keep repeating success, and I get it. The play works for a touchdown. When you come out and run the same exact formation, the same exact play, the next play that you're on offense, the defense is going to notice that. And every time Fountain-Fort Carson has repeated plays, they've lost yardage. So I'm very interested to see what they do here moving forward, as now they're in 2nd and 14 again.
Drew Harris not on the field right now, and that's incomplete. Oh,
behind
and
the
a
receiver.
penalty flag and a late hit too.
That absolutely needs to be called. If we're talking about safety first in all football levels now, there's no need for that unnecessary late hit right there. You're just putting your team in a bad situation. And you know the guy who has his hands up, I didn't do anything, that guy is the one to blame. Not necessary there if you're Columbine's defense.
We'll see if they call it. There was a flag on the field before that late hit.
I mean, you're playing lights out. What do you need to do that for? That's a 15-yard personal foul,
right.
Not necessary. And you didn't even light him up. He stood on his feet. You didn't even put him on the ground. So, I mean, if you're going to light him up, at least light him up and get a penalty.
So a big penalty there against Columbine moves the ball to midfield, and a bit of a personnel change here for the Trojans. I don't see Drew Harris in the game anymore. He might have got nicked up a little bit. They're going with some smaller, faster running backs.
Maybe the Hammer is just tired. They've been riding him like Zorro this whole game.
Chanel with the carry keeps it himself, and he is going to pick up a first down, close to it anyway for Fountain-Fort Carson.
Momentum off of the penalty. They're looking at 3rd and 14, not being able to throw the ball consistently. They get a 15-yard personal foul, and now they're moving the ball, marching in to score. So boneheaded plays always hurt you. It doesn't matter who's making them. It hurts the team, and it definitely hurt Columbine in that regard, as we're under a minute here in the 3rd quarter as the clock ticks away. Had a nice wave by a fan down here. Mr. LaSala, John LaSala's father, down here waving at Rick and I, and John's up at CU doing a great job right now as a graduate freshman. So always good to see some fans here. The Columbine Rebels, the lineage here.
Chanel throws to Mario Jimenez for a short gain.
Take a break
we'll
here
take
on
a
the Stream of Sports Network. I'm Matt McChesney. That is Rick Lewis. 7-6, Columbine over Fountain-Fort Carson as we start the 4th quarter. We'll be right back, folks, on the Stream of Sports Network.
We're back here to start the 4th quarter, and it looks like a first down pickup on 2nd and 8 for Fountain-Fort Carson, moving the football now down to the 30-yard line of Columbine. They mark it just short of the first down, so it's going to be like a 3rd and about a half a yard here. Tevin Donnell, I believe, on the carry. A lot of new players here. So now it's 4th down and 2. They lost yards on that play. This is a big play here for the Columbine defense. Chanel's going to keep it himself, first down and more.
And that's exactly what I'm saying about a 3rd and short, 2nd and short opportunity for these offenses. They know they're going to go for it on 4th down, so why not try and pick it up?
So 10:36 to go in the game. We have a 7-6 football game. The Rebels on top of the Trojans, but FFC driving here early in the 4th quarter. Ball's marked at the 22.
Columbine crowd down here is getting a little restless. They understand that this game is pretty tight. Maybe not expecting it after last year's 27-12 Rebel win. Changing the play. Quarterback down there.
Shotgun. Chanel.
Motion to trips.
Looking to throw. Does over the middle. It's complete. Looks like maybe Tigner with the carry. He's got a nice lot of speed arm. And a nice stiff arm. Breaks a tackle, 2-3 tackles.
And he's in.
Look at that effort.
Wow, Tigner with the play of the night. That is a hell of an effort by number 4 right there. Takes the crossing route and makes the entire Columbine defense miss. Tigner, at this moment, has been the game breaker Fountain-Fort Carson's been looking for. They need to give this guy the rock. Feed
Right
him
now,
the pill.
it looks like the player of the game at this point. Where was he in the first half?
They've got thunder and lightning. I mean, if they can get 34 healthy and they can keep Tigner on the field as well together, that is a dynamic duo that Fountain-Fort Carson can definitely exploit throughout the season.
5'9", 185 pounds, quick, great balance. You see that stiff arm he put out there?
It was an incredible move. That's D1 skill right there from a skill position player in the state of Colorado. Keep your eyes open for Tigner.
Very impressed. So let's not jinx the kicker again here. Actually, they're not going to take a chance. They're not going to let you jinx them. They're going to go for 2.
As they should.
From the shotgun, Chanel. Rolling to his right. Wants to throw. He does, and it's broken up down there. Looks like... Yeah, not broken up there in the end zone. So they go for 2.
12-7.
They don't get it.
12-7. It's a touchdown game. 9 minutes and 48 seconds left. It puts immense pressure on first-time starting quarterback Jake Lowry out there, the nephew of the head coach Andy Lowry, to make some plays. And also in an offensive scheme where you're not built to come back on people. You're not built to go out there and throw the ball over the yard and get chunk yardage. You have to assume this is the last possession you're going to get. Because if Fountain-Fort Carson gets the rock back, they're going to run what's called 4 or 5 minute offense. And in that situation, it's all about trying to eat clock, take as much off the play clock as possible, run simple plays, pick up first downs, and get off the field with a victory so you end the game in the victory formation. So now if I'm Columbine, I know that my urgency has to be revved up here, and they've got to go get They have to go get 6 to make this a 14-12 game, and then put the pressure in turn on Fountain-Fort Carson.
Jordan White's kicking off for FFC here. 9:48 to go. This will be a big series here for Columbine. Down 12-7. White with a short kickoff. It's going to be returned from the 15-yard line by the Rebels, and that's number 22. That's your guy right there.
Emory Taylor.
Emory Taylor with the return.
Getting upended by number 4. Again, making a play. Out there flying around, Mr. Do-It-All.
I keep saying, where was Tigner in the first half?
He was
looked
punting.
so good.
He was punting the
Yeah,
first
but
half.
still. They have
It's a secret weapon.
the Fort Carson team has so many great athletes. They just, it seems like they underutilize them. They have them playing, one way. They had Tigner punting, so he wasn't running the football. That kid can do a lot of damage running the football. It's going to be a short gain there for Columbine, maybe even a loss on first down, which is exactly what they don't want.
We've got another Columbine player down. Slow to get up, an offensive lineman there that went to the second level. It's the 3rd Rebel we've seen down on the field tonight. As this is the only time the clock has stopped the whole game is just due to injury.
Like it, pretty much, yeah. 9:28 to go here in the game.
Got some pretty heavy makeout action down here from some Columbine students.
Yeah, they're definitely not into the game.
Yeah, I mean, these two are definitely not in the game. He's going for it, though. He went from first base to second base pretty quick.
Well, you know what? If you're a Columbine fan, you're not used to this. They're losing here in the fourth quarter. They only have 7 points in the game. This is pretty unusual for Columbine football.
So I guess that's why the entire student section is making out with each other.
Yeah,
right now.
I mean, I guess you can't blame them.
They are in high school.
Where's the chaperones at this game?
Chaperones.
This is ridiculous.
That still happens? People chaperone?
Well, we are. I guess we're the chaperones.
We are chaperoning?
We're up here in the press box looking down.
The royal we, the editorial.
Right.
I dropped off the money.
It looks like the injured player was Logan Anderson, big senior offensive lineman. He limps off the field. Looks like he's going to be okay. And 2nd down and 10 from their own 24 here. As I said, big series for both of these football teams, especially the Columbine offense. Lowry, the quarterback's going to keep it, cuts it upfield. Nice cut. Short gain, though.
Tackled by
Maybe
his own
5-yard
offensive
gain.
lineman on the cutback there.
Lowry, not a big guy. They got him at 5'11", 165, which means he's about 5'9", 145. Right?
Yeah,
I mean, seriously.
give or take about 9 inches out here on the rosters. But look, Lowry's played admirably. He's just the quarterback in Columbine's system is not the guy that is called on to make the plays to win the game. That's all on their tailback and their offensive line. And if their offensive line is being stymied by an extremely physical Fountain-Fort Carson defense who's all over the running game.
All right, third down. Lowry with a keeper trying to get that corner. He does. He's got it. He's pushed out of bounds right there. Picks up a Columbine first down. The option is really, really holding 11 for Fountain-Fort Carson at the point of attack, so he's having troubles getting out and showing off that speed that he possesses and tracking people down. As a middle linebacker, his first read has got to be the fullback, and then after that, it's all reacting to the outside option game. And you can see he's behind the plays, but still, his presence alone, being in the middle of the field, is deterring Columbine from trying to run the fullback like they were in the first half. He's keyed on it, and he is out there lighting people up, not afraid to lower the hat. Two nice runs back-to-back by Lowry. Gets to the first down for Columbine. Handoff up the middle. There's your typical Columbine carry right there. They get about 4 yards on first down. Moving the football here.
8 minutes and 15 seconds left as Columbine progresses towards the 50.
2nd and 6. Clock now stopped.
See if number 60, Dylan Goodman, can get that Columbine offense rolling in the right direction. Yes, he is the tone setter for that unit out there. He's been playing his butt off tonight.
This is where your typical Andy Lowry football team would grind out the entire 8 minutes and go down and score a touchdown.
I guarantee you that's what the man wants to do. He wants to eat up the rest of the clock and score with 5 seconds left.
2nd and 6. Another short gain, if any, on second down. Maybe a half a yard pickup there for Columbine. 7:52 now. Clock is running. Ball's on the 42-yard line. It's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd and 6.
Worst thing you can do if you're Fountain-Fort Carson is look at the clock. All right, focus on your job, focus on your key, and play as physical as possible. And what did we say? Wait for that trick play and shot over the top. It's coming, folks. I guarantee it.
Here we go, 3rd and 6. Lowry pitches back. Norton, he's going to be well short of the first down.
It's very rare to see a 6'3", 250-pound Mike linebacker like number 11 run sideline to sideline the way he does. It's very, very rare, and I hope people aren't taking it for granted because he is a special player. Whatever college swoops him up and gives him an opportunity to play, they're going to be getting one mean, rangy Mike linebacker. I really like the way he plays.
Absolutely.
Looking at
very good football player.
4th and about 6 here.
They're going to punt.
4th and 6, punting the ball, putting the emphasis on the defense to go out here and get a 3 and out. And we're going on about 7 minutes left in the 4th. Fountain-Fort Carson is going to have a chance to either put points on the board and make it unreachable, or grind the clock out so Columbine has no time to operate.
On a 4th and 3, watch for maybe a fake punt here, possibly. See what they do. They get off the snap, good kick.
I hate that I can't pronounce people's names, Rick. Drives me nuts.
This kick is going to be fielded there about the 30-yard line. So with 7:13 to go, the Trojans take over, and really they have a chance to take command of this football game at this point. The way this game has gone so far, if you just joined us on Stream It Sports, 0-0 at halftime. Both offenses really struggled in the first half. Second half's been a different story. Both of these teams
have picked it up. The execution
definitely
is at least
picked
better.
it up. And it's been Charles Tigner for Fountain-Fort Carson, who didn't do anything in the first half
Good-looking
except punt
player.
the football.
Very good-looking player.
He has been the difference maker here in the second half.
Now, Columbine last year, 31 sacks as a team, 52 TFLs as a team. All right, they had 22 takeaways.
All right, Drew Harris back in the game.
We see none of that tonight. There's no sacks. There's not a lot of TFLs other than number 37 being in the backfield early in the game. And they have not taken the ball away from Fountain-Fort Carson at all, and that's why they're losing the football game. Fountain-Fort Carson is playing Columbine football against Columbine, and they don't like it.
Absolutely. The Hammer's back in there. Drew Harris, we wondered what happened to him.
The Harris Hammer. Tigner and the Hammer.
Yep, you got both of them in there. Now, both Tigner and Harris last year each rushed for almost 1,000 yards each, scored a whole bunch of touchdowns. They both look like very good football players.
There's no doubt that Fountain-Fort Carson has. I think they have more star power than Columbine does. I think there's more kids on.
More athletic
Exactly.
ability, for sure.
Emory Taylor is really the star on Columbine's roster, the kid that everybody considers to be an elite talent. Fountain-Fort Carson has 5 or 6 different guys, and we're not even talking about the bigs because they do have some huge players there as well. They've got to turn the eyes and the heads of some of the scouts out here in Colorado, and especially in the mountain region, because there are some definite kids that can play, and it's just a matter of finding them on film and exploiting the opportunity.
Chanot, the quarterback, handoff on that counter play. Number 22 on the carry, that's DeMario Leonard.
And Leonard definitely finished that run as he fell forward.
Did. And a short gain.
Fountain-Fort Carson is one physical, tough-minded football team. I really, really like what they've established there in just a short time.
So they give them 2 yards. They move the ball to the 31, and the clock running.
Coach Johnson for Fountain-Fort Carson, Coach Mitch Johnson, their head coach, has done a great job of instituting a physical mindset into his young men.
2nd and 8. They could pick up a first down or 2. They'll be in really good shape here for an upset. Chanot under pressure. He's going to get sacked way back there on the 15-yard line.
And that's not what Fountain-Fort Carson is looking for. And on the flip side, that is exactly what Columbine needs in order to get back in this football game. Number 58, second sack of the night.
Hunter
We've seen
Harris.
him all over the field. Hunter Harris now with 2 huge sacks to pretty much end 2 Fountain-Fort Carson drives. I would expect to see another fullback dive here and a punt. And now Columbine has switched field position, and Andy Lowry again looks like a genius.
That was so big. As I just said, if the Trojans got a first down or 2, this game's probably over. And now they're 3rd and 22.
I can't imagine that they do anything but run something simple and punt.
Chanot drops back,
throwing
throws. Harris with the big hit put on Harris. And that was, I believe that big hit was Hunter Harris, I think, put the hammer on the big dude.
Oh, man, 58 looks like Von Miller.
Man.
Who is that, Von Miller out there? Hunter Harris is out there laying the wood.
Hunter Harris, 6'3", 220-pound junior.
Fountain-Fort Carson wants this man off the field. 58 is making himself known with authority. We know who you are now, 58. Having a hell of a game.
All right, 5 minutes and 13 seconds, clock running, and the Trojans need to get off a big punt here.
I felt that one.
Yeah. 4th and 25 from the 14. Snap is good. The kick is a low end-over-end kick.
See if
It's gonna
13
be
can do
fielded
something
at
with
the
it.
40-yard line. Greibel going down at the 45. So really good field position for Columbine. They have the Trojans just where they want them with just under 5 minutes to go in this football game, and we'll see if Columbine can finish here. They're down 12-7.
4 minutes and 52 seconds left to eat clock, keep the ball, and win a football game.
Grind it right down the field, which is what we're used to seeing with this Columbine football team. We'll see if they can do it here tonight. 1st and 10 from the 45-yard line. Lowry, the quarterback, hands off. There's another big hit there, stacked up. You know what? These 2 defensive lines have done a really good job here for both of these teams.
I'm interested to see the rush attempts to rush yards, because usually Columbine is averaging around 6 or 7 yards a carry.
Yeah.
And tonight they've
Nowhere
been
close.
stuffed for about 3 yards a carry. And that's usually the way you beat option-based football teams, is limit the amount of yardage they get per carry, forcing them to go out of their comfort zone on 3rd down to throw the football. But again, now Columbine's in a position to win the game.
2nd and 7. Lowry throws. It's complete. Greibel with the catch. And he is tackled there at about the 36-yard line of Fountain-Fort Carson. So the Rebels moving the football, 4:12 to go.
And they've shown that a couple of times. They've moved the pocket, put Lowry in a position where he only has to read half the field instead of the entire field, and makes his read really easy. All he has to do is deliver the football, and he does a good job of getting into Greibel. Greibel, you have to say, offensively has been the spark plug for Columbine, where number 58, Hunter, has just been a beast for them defensively in this football game.
First down from the 36-yard line. The ball's on the ground, and the Trojans have it.
And there
you go.
That is the 3rd time we've seen the fumble exchange between the quarterback and number 66, Lorenzo Reyes. That is unacceptable. You cannot put the ball on the ground 3 times not being able to exchange it from quarterback to center, and now you put even more pressure on a defense that's stepped up each and every time you've asked them to. I don't. That is disappointing if you're Columbine, and something that you take for granted. The center quarterback exchange is something that's taken for granted, and now it's something that's going to get you beat the third time they put it on the ground in this game.
3:52 in the game, and we'll see if the Trojans can hang on here. First down and 10 from the 35-yard line. We're trying to pick a player of the game here. As this game just turned now in the favor of the Trojans, I'd almost have to say you got to go with Tigner.
I'd say Tigner or Harris for Fountain-Fort Carson, and definitely Columbine. I mean, number 58, Hunter Harms, has just been all over the damn field. So I would say that 58 for Columbine is probably that guy. We will announce it here shortly.
There's a pitch back there to Harris, the big hammer back in the game.
Does a good job of staying in bounds and not running towards the sideline.
Picks up about 7, maybe 8 yards on that carry. 3:39 to go.
You want to announce it? You want to announce it? Yeah?
I think we could do that. You ready for the player of the game?
The next level student athlete, powered by Pro Players Services, is number 4, Tigner for Fountain-Fort Carson, who came into the second game and had just an amazing influence and input on his offensive teammates and the output that they put out in the second half compared to the first. We would give it to Harris as well, but Tigner is the reason that they're going to become victorious in this football game, as they have 3:10 left, and they are in a good position to put Columbine away.
Yeah, both touchdowns scored by Tigner here in the second half. It's been the difference in this football game. Second down and 2 now from the 43. Trojans taking their time. High snap. Chanot, look at that. First down, breaks through the line. He may go all the way down there for a touchdown. He's down to the 20, gets caught from behind there.
He pulled the Brian Dawkins circa Dallas Cowboys back in the day, where he knows he can score, but he looks up and goes, hey, it's probably better for me to get down and not be selfish here. That is one heady play by the quarterback right there to eat more clock. He breaks it off and eats clock.
If that's what he did, yes.
I really think it is, because it seemed to me like he slid there at the end instead of gotten tackled.
You might be right about that,
great
Matt.
Play there, Q. Great play.
It certainly looked like he was going to be able to outrun the defense for a touchdown, but you're right.
Hats off to Coach Johnson for Fountain-Fort Carson. His team is mentally ready to play this football game. They knew it was going to be physical. They knew they had to do their job first to win, and that's what they've done this whole game, has gone out and not gotten discouraged by the lack of success in the first half. They've just been striking the rock, and it's about to crack.
Looks like Tigner from the I formation. They're going to hand the ball to – oh, wow. They didn't even get the handoff off.
Guess who that was?
Hunter Harris again.
What another massive play by 58.
Monster game for him.
And he's only a junior. He is putting himself on the map tonight. Watch out for number 58. Hunter Harms moving forward. Harms. Number 58 for Columbine.
Harms.
6'3", 220. Out there with bad intentions. Hunter Harms.
2nd and 14 now with 2:08 to go and a timeout on the field. Anything can happen still. Now, the Trojans...
If you don't block 58, anything can happen. I'll tell you that.
The Trojans on the 21-yard line here really just have to chew up the clock and win this football game. Would you say this would be a fairly big upset to start the season?
I think that Columbine being at home and opening in 0 week against Fountain-Fort Carson, a team that they handled last year, I think, you have to consider this a pretty big upset. This is I bet you if you polled people, they would say that Columbine would run away with this and open the season 1-0. This propels Fountain-Fort Carson on a very, very productive season, almost. If they can go off of this and win this game, and it can propel them to future success, this will be the game that really put them in the right position.
Chanot keeps the ball in his hands, which is very smart, and fighting his way for some yardage there.
I love that he's staying in bounds. He could have easily ran out of bounds there as well, but he turned it back up and took the hit.
Yeah, Columbine, a 10-win team last year. When you factor that in, and they're playing at home, and the Fountain-Fort Carson team only won 4 games all year last year, didn't make the playoffs, I would say this would be a pretty big upset.
Yeah, big time upset. And it goes to show just how much Columbine does miss the McDonald's.
I know, man. I was thinking the same thing.
Not having Bernard McDonald on the field is something that you can't overlook. He is electrifying speed, and he's a guy that can change the course of the football game in about 5 seconds.
I hate to keep saying that because, I mean, there's some talent on this Columbine team, but you take a guy like McDonald off to this team, and it makes a big difference.
Now, people have been wondering when Columbine is going to have that season where they're not 9-10 wins. And it's been a long time since they've had anything negative happen under Andy Lowry. This is not the year. I still think that they're an 8, 9, 10-win football team. I think that this is an opportunity for them to regroup if they do end up losing this game and refocus and say, look, we didn't play terrible, but we didn't play good enough to win. And in their conference and the teams that they have to play week in and week out, they cannot make mistakes like this.
3rd down at 7. Chanel fighting for close to a first down. Clock running, 1:53 to go. Still a lot of time in this football game, especially if they don't get a first down.
And
looks
it
like
is
they're short,
4th and 1. What do you do here, Rick? You put faith in your kicker who I jinxed earlier, or do you just go for it and
since you already
live with
jinxed the kicker, I would definitely not put him out there. I'd just try to chew up as much clock as I can here. It's running.
Goes under 1:30, and we're looking at 4th and 1. If Fountain-Fort Carson converts this, the game is over.
Even if they don't, Columbine's not going to have a whole lot of time with the kind of offense they've showed here tonight.
90 yards might
definitely
as well
not a
be
big
90 miles.
Yeah, it's not a big play offense, that's for sure.
Well, it is a big play offense if you have a McDonald in the backfield.
Because he's a big play player.
Yes, exactly.
It makes a huge difference. I've seen these guys play so many times, and this is how they normally look. Solid football team, and then a McDonald breaks off a 60 or 80-yard run, and it changes everything.
We said this at the beginning of the broadcast, though, here on StreamOfSports.com. Whoever makes the mistake is going to lose. And Fountain-Fort Carson didn't make the mistakes. They had a couple of bonehead penalties in the first quarter. Their intensity is up. They want to go out there and match physicality. But Columbine's been the team that on 3rd or on 2nd and 14, they got the personal foul that moved the sticks that led to a touchdown. Okay? They put the ball on the ground 3 times, losing one of those fumbles. On quarterback center exchanges, they weren't even forced fumbles. They're self-inflicted wounds. So the penalties are a problem. All right, you have to play between the whistle. Hitting after the whistle doesn't make you tough. And you've got to be able to snap the football in order to operate. And those are the only 2 things that Columbine did wrong all night, and that's the reason they're going to lose.
Here we go, 4th and 1. Chanel's going to keep it, and it looks like a first down. Really close.
Going to have a measurement here. It was a great job by number 41 for Columbine, beating him to the sticks.
It's going to be really close. Columbine seems to think they stopped him, and they did.
Austin Rubel stepping up, number 41, and making a huge hit. And now we say we've got a minute 3.
A minute 3.
To go 96 yards. Minute 3 to go 96. Can we get it done, Columbine?
Without a McDonald in the backfield for Columbine.
Some of that Andy Lowry magic.
We'll see here. A minute 3. We'll see what they can do. Columbine, very proud football team and a great, great tradition. Can they come back 12-7? They have to go all the way down the field. They have to go 90 yards to win this football game in a minute 3.
Hunter Harms and that Columbine defense definitely came to play this evening. Without the 3 fumbles and the bad penalties, I think they might be winning.
Lowry throwing it
deep.
downfield. Got a man open.
Emory Taylor with a catch. Wow.
Caught.
Oh, my gosh.
Caught at the 36-yard line.
Throw 22 out there and throw it up, and he makes a play. Emory Taylor, that's why he's an electrifying athlete. Now you just gained 40 yards, 35 yards in one play.
Wow.
Man.
Wow.
I'm too old for this crap.
58 seconds to
I'm going to
go.
have a heart attack, man.
Clock is running again now. We'll see what they can do. Lowry's going to throw it again. He's got under pressure now. He's scrambling in the backfield, and he's going to be sacked.
Number 70 coming up with a massive play. We've been saying his name all night. Come on, Griffin. Another massive play in the backfield, and that is a drive killer. That is an absolute knife to the heart there if you're Columbine as they spike the ball going on 3rd down and 15.
He had nobody open. He was fighting for his life, running for his life back there, and finally got sacked.
Emory Taylor's making me jump out of my jockeys in here, Rick.
Number 70, Keemon Griffin, 6'2", 230 pounds.
Been all over the field. Number 70 has been a rock
and you know what?
in front of DJ
There's some impressive athletes on this Trojan football team.
No doubt about it.
Big and fast.
You can buy Matt McChesney a belt.
3rd and 15.
A better belt.
Well, whatever.
Your pants falling down, Matt?
It's called being skinny, fat.
You have lost weight.
Okay,
lost a bunch
it's
of
called
weight.
being sexy. All right, just because I've seen an ab muscle in my life.
Are you down to like 290?
I'm like 284.
And you're penciling down.
Yeah,
I'm a little worried
down to
about
my
you.
fighting weight.
I'm a little
Getting down to
concerned.
my fighting weight, all right? I went to the doctor today, and he said, you're broken. I said, where? He goes, everywhere. Said, we got to replace a shoulder, we got to fuse an ankle, we got to fuse a neck, we got to fuse a back.
Oh, man.
Your brain's going to mush. Do you have a good job?
But
I was
look
like,
at you.
well, I'm self-employed, so yeah.
You're still standing.
Still sexy.
It's hard. I wouldn't go that far.
Amen.
All right, 3rd and 15 from the 32-yard line. 33 seconds to go in the game. You see number 11 out there. That's DJ Leatimua. Who's had a
Leatimua.
really good game here for the Trojans.
Heart and soul, that Trojan defense.
Lowry throws. Big hit.
Oh!
Wow, that was a big hit.
And this is the ball game, folks, okay? 4th down. Fountain-Fort Carson holds. They win. Columbine converts. And they stay alive.
4th and 15. Lowry has to throw the ball. He does. It's
And he
complete.
gets it.
And he gets the first down. You know, why didn't he throw more tonight? Really, he's got a
this
good
is
arm.
what I'm saying.
He's
Take
got a
the-
good
take
arm.
the cuffs off of Lowry and let him dictate to the defense. Maybe Coach Lowry will let his nephew go out and do this because, look, right now we're looking at 12 seconds. They've moved 50 yards in under a minute, and now they're in a position to at least throw it up a couple of times, and they still have timeouts left. So Columbine's in a good position. You couldn't ask for a better position as of 5 minutes ago. We didn't think they were going to have a chance to win the football game, and now they do.
Kid looks like he can throw the football. They might want to open it up a little bit. And the Trojans know that he's going to pass.
What do you think
And he
Coach
still
Lowry's
comes
down there saying? Say, hey, listen here, nephew, okay? Don't make any bad decisions.
All right, 12 seconds to go. Second
boy.
and 10. Really, you got time for probably 2 throws here.
Let's snap the ball.
Timeout on the field.
Timeout.
Looks like a penalty.
Delay of game.
Delay of game
How
penalty.
are you going to get
Okay.
a delay of game? Come on, Columbine.
Yeah, well, 5 yards isn't really going to do much damage here.
Unless they get it to the 2.
Okay. You're always so optimistic. All right, clock is running now. 10 seconds. They're going to have to get off the play
9,
right here. Lowry
8.
steps back. Under pressure.
Throwing it
Throws
up.
it deep. He's
Oh,
had him wide open. Oh. Streaky down the sidelines. It looked like it was Greibel, number 13.
Oh, my God. You would expect nothing more on the opening game of the week on StreamerSports.com to have it come down like this.
He was so open, he overthrew him.
You're welcome, Colorado high school football fans. You're welcome. This is what we do. We aim to please.
One more play.
Woo.
We got a 1.6 seconds left on the clock.
I love me some football, Rick.
Wow, that would have been amazing if they would have pulled that. Well, they still could do it. They got a minute, a second and a half to go here.
What a football game.
Last play of the game from their own 44-yard line.
Columbine's fans are into it down here. The Rebel faithful supporting their team, win, lose, or draw.
See what they got here. Lowry steps back in the pocket, steps up on the run, looking downfield, throws it up deep down the field. Oh, almost complete.
And that is the
Incomplete
ball
there.
game.
That's the football game, and that is a big upset right there, folks. Fountain-Fort Carson upsets the Columbine Rebels 12-7.
Great job by Coach Mitch Johnson from Fountain-Fort Carson getting his team ready to play. And Fountain-Fort Carson's football team, that defense came out here motivated to stop the run, and they did and put it on Lowry to win the football game. Hey, Tigner, great job by number 4
Charles Tigner, the player of the game right there.
Came out there and really took the reins in the second half. Hats off to Fountain-Fort Carson, starting 1-0 and beating a team that handled you last year. Columbine 0-1 for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, a big upset there for the Trojans and some very impressive talent on the football field here tonight on both sides of the field.
We want to say congratulations to Charles
Tigner.
Tigner on the next level student athlete package sponsored by Pro Player Services. Next Level Student Athlete fills the void between college recruiters, team head coaches, and the parent of high school student athletes. NLSA helps build and promote the high school student athletes into the total package. Our game plan, 4 quarters of an athlete life, develops a student athlete in the 4 major areas of life: academics, SAT, ACT steps, or test prep, core college course requirements, athletics, faith, life, and career identification, and financial responsibility for the future. Thank you to Pro Player Services for sponsoring tonight's game. This is the Stream Sports Network. I'm Matt McChesney.
And I'm Rick Lewis. Join us next week. We got a big game next week, Pomona and Valor.
Thursday
night here on Stream It Sports. A great way to kick off the season. A 12-7 upset win for Fountain-Fort Carson over the Columbine Rebels. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next Thursday night here on Stream It Sports.
Great game.